Hey everybody, how's it going today? So this is J.R. Martin and I'm talking to you about Scrivener. So I'm not sure how many of you have used Scrivener in the past, but Scrivener is what I use for all of my writing needs. I use it for any kind of editing that I'm doing. I like Scrivener because it has a compile feature that quickly compiles your stories and gets them prepared for whatever market you're trying to submit it to, right? So there's a couple of quick settings, and those settings allow you to get everything set up correctly. So any market that you're trying to submit to, you can have their settings, right? So if it needs to be double spaced, if it needs to be single spaced, if they want you to have page breaks between each chapter, if they don't want page breaks between each chapter, there's a lot of different things that you can do with Scrivener to make that work a lot better for you. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how to create custom templates first off, and some other cool things. The first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to go to this character sheet that I have, and I'm going to use that to create a new sheet. So first I'm going to add a new sheet here. If you notice, it puts a little T next to it. This is for all your template sheets. I'm going to go on ahead and name this, I think I'm going to go ahead and do something like vehicle sheet. And what this does, excuse me, is now that I have it named vehicle sheet, I'm going to go ahead and copy from the character sheet and use that to build out this new piece right here. So it doesn't matter whatever you name your sheets. This is just an example. I don't normally use a vehicle sheet in my stories, but under these template sheets, be it characters, you will notice that I've created something like clues and jargon. I write a lot of stories with mysteries, or a lot of mystery stories. So I need those clues and that jargon and the vernacular, just because right now one of my stories is an engineering story. Well, I say engineering, it's a steampunk story, and they're steampunk engineers. So there's a lot of jargon that they're using. So I use that template sheet to have a list of all the different types of jargon that they use in the story, so I can remember. So you see here, I'm just going ahead and changing this, tweaking a little bit. And after I do this, from there, we're going to go on ahead and create the template, right? And creating templates within Scrivener is super easy. Like I said, once you have built out what you want, it's pretty simple to create these templates and have them there for you. So like I said, it's one of those things where right now I just have my own novel template, and I just use one baseline one. I use it for everything, right? So even if I'm writing a story that doesn't have a mystery in it, I'll just go ahead and have the jargon, vernacular, and everything else in there, or I'm sorry, the clues in there, even though I'm not going to ever use them, right? Because I'd rather have all that stuff there in case I do decide that I want to have a little bit of a mystery or some of that plot line and everything like that. So I'll go ahead and put that in there. But for right now, we're just going to go ahead and update this sheet and make sure that it is good to go. So now that the sheet is updated, the next thing that we do is we go to File. We're going to go on ahead to Save as Template, and here you'll see that I already have some notes in there from my first time trying to do this, but it's called the sample template. You can put in any kind of description in there. You could even go over there where it says custom and add your own icon and everything else. I'm going to go ahead and add some notes in here, and once I add those notes, you'll see that okay, I've made this my own template, right? And then whenever you go to create a new project, you will be able to see that template there for yourself as well, and you'll have that description to make it easier to find your own templates. So there you go, and you'll see that once I go to fiction, there's my sample template. When I click on it, all my notes and description are there, right? So I could create something right now if I wanted to, and that's it, right? And watch this, boom, we create, and now you see that it has a sample template. It has everything that I just created in there. So the next thing that I want to show you is going to be using the labels and also creating custom columns for the outliner. Now I want to be clear, I'm doing this on a Windows-based version of Scrivener. Okay, the Mac version is a little bit different in terms of some of the features that it has, but it functions pretty much the same way. So you see I just opened the metadata settings under project. Each one of those settings is actually what's being used here for the custom metadata, is what's being used for the columns. You can also see that the colors are based on what you select there. So I'm going to go ahead and type something real quick. And after I type this, you're going to see that boom, the color changes, right? What's useful about that is it just kind of highlights, okay, what am I looking at here? And to me, it's interesting. I can change it immediately here to this yellow, but it's interesting because it gives your eyes something quickly to look at, and you can be like, oh, am I looking at what I think I'm looking at, or am I looking at something that, am I looking at character names? Am I looking at the subplot? Am I looking at what metadata, what data am I looking at here? And it transfers over to the index cards that are in the corkboard as well. What's also cool about this is when you come in here, you can actually do a lot of controls over this. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to change the colors of the rows. And actually a little bit before that, I'm also going to go ahead and remove this status column because I just noticed it and I don't like those. Basically under status you can even have custom statuses, but right now Scrivener leaves like first draft, second draft, you know, different types of things underneath those statuses. So I'm going to go on ahead and remove that after I finish adding in the second scene and all the scene information. I'm going to go ahead and add a label here for subplot 2. And now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this column here. So all you have to do is go to your view, and once you go to view, you will go to the outliner right there, and you will go on ahead and remove status. So boom, it's gone. Now real quick, if I add it back, it adds everything back at the very end. So once I add it back, it's there, and I can move it if I want to. Just that simple, right? But we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this because it's not really something that we're needing. All right, so back to dealing with scenes and all that jazz. So now that I have these scenes here, I'm going to go ahead and finish adding in my notes, and I'm going to put what this subplot is about. So I'm just throwing stuff in here, right? This isn't for any of my stories. This is just a sample template so that I can give you an overview of what it looks like to do this. Okay. So now where it says use color, now first I said use binder color. The reason why everything changed over there in the character section is because the character section even has binder colors, right? Let me just move these around real quick. But now I can look over there in my binder and see, okay, here's the colors, here's what's really going on within the story. And I'm just typing in some extra notes here, because if you notice earlier when I was looking at the scenes, the scene looked like a sheet of paper. Now it looks like a card. That's the only reason why I typed that in there, just so it all looks uniform. Now what I'm going to show you is what it looks like on the cards. So you see I've added the colors under the label color. So now I'm going to go over to the corkboard, and you're going to see here that the cards, you can click in on them, you can change the name here, you can add notes to these cards, you can rearrange the cards if you want to. It's like a digital corkboard. I mean, I say like, it is a digital corkboard. And then you have different colored index cards, and the notes that we wrote earlier show up here. So that's really cool about Scrivener as well. You can use that to move scenes around and take a different look at stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a scene here under scene 2, and I'm going to go on ahead and add a different label to this so that we can go ahead and take a look at what it looks like when you're looking at Scrivener and you're seeing basically what it is to have the rows with different colors, right? So I got that set up. I changed those colors right there to chapters just because I wanted to see that differently. Once again, it's nice to have that color to separate it out, like I'm looking in between these things and these chapters, and so I can say, boom, I'm looking between this, I'm looking between this, so I can look at the sections quickly and easily, right? And you see how it matches the row matches the label color. So now I can come here, like I was saying earlier, and look at, okay, here's my subplots, here's this, here's that, whatever you want to do for these labels. So what I'll end up doing a lot of times is I will nest these a little bit deeper. So for instance, and I'm just clicking through doing some organization here, showing you how easy that is. But let's say for instance I have a scene that's going on. I can actually take my time and let that scene I'm sorry, not take my time, but I can add additional note cards or index cards beneath the scene itself. So what that does is I can put all my subplots and all my notes and everything else with the card into attach it to that scene, so create that nested level under there, and then have all my subplots under there, so I can have labels with scenes. So I can basically have chapter labels, then I can have scene labels, and then I can look at my, like, what's supposed to happen with in each scene, so what things I'm trying to accomplish, and I can look at my index cards and be like, okay, did I accomplish everything I was trying to within this section? Okay, cool, that's awesome, I'm glad I was able to. If not, then I go back and I reread the scene and I try to figure out what I need to add in there to accomplish my goals for that particular section. And so here I am just doing that as well, adding this notes line here. So that's it. And so now if we were to go deeper, you could see, well, there you go, I'm rearranging it. But you see how easy it is to use Scrivener. Now I know some of the Mac OS version of Scrivener is a little newer, has some additional features that can kind of give you more details as far as how much percentage of your novel is going toward a certain thing, which is very cool. Those features are supposed to be coming to the Windows version. Right now we don't have that, but I'm still very happy with the way Scrivener is working for me as it stands. So real quick, the last thing that I want to do, and I just clicked over to this other section again, is I realized I didn't actually show how to add a brand new column up there. So all these columns are not necessarily they're not built within Scrivener, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to project and metadata settings. So I came here and I showed you how to look at it for colors, but if you click the plus sign you can add something else. So we're going to do POV, because whenever I'm writing a story that has multiple POVs, I like to use this particular column just so that I know whose POV we're looking at it, who we're currently in within the story, right? So now you can have different shifts with the chapters as well if you want to do that using the labels. So basically you can have a section where it's this chapter is a POV of character 1, this chapter is a POV of character 2, so you can have all the POV, like all the chapters, be a certain color, so have them all be green, and then each main character or POV character can be a shade of that color as you're going through it. That's one way of doing it. That way you can, okay, everything that's green is for this particular color coding. So I just wanted to talk about that and go over a lot of the things that I enjoy about using Scrivener. Excuse me. Because once again, it's a great tool. Thank you for taking the time and joining me here. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments below. There's other Scrivener tips that I can go over with you guys if there's anything else that you want me to show you. If there's any kind of settings that you're looking for in particular, let me know and I can do a video on those as well. But these are the quick tips that I think will help you get the most use out of Scrivener fairly quickly, right, when you first start using it. Once again, if you have any other questions, let me know. This is JR. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for writing with me. And I look forward to working with you later. Peace.